Where does food come from? We love to eat, and we eat to live. Every animal has to eat to live. We may eat different things. Your favorite food might be tacos, but your friends might be pizza. But what we eat has one thing in common: it's all food and gives us energy. Food is the source of two essential elements of life: molecular building blocks and energy. Molecular building blocks are matter. Like all matter, they are made of atoms. Building blocks are molecules that come from the nutrients in food. Without these molecular building blocks, you could not grow or repair cells. Your body could not regulate body processes or heal when you get injured. Energy is not matter. It is not made of atoms. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transferred. Light energy from the sun enters an ecosystem. Organisms convert it to energy stored in the bonds of food molecules. All the things that living organisms do require energy. It is needed to move, talk, digest food, keep warm, think, grow, and feel. All organisms return energy into the environment as thermal energy, heating. Energy is the driver that keeps the machinery of life running. Following the energy path. Much of Earth's energy comes from the sun, but humans get their energy from food, not directly from the sun. How did the energy get into our food? Most people in the United States get food at grocery stores and restaurants, but where does that food come from? What organisms stored light energy in the bonds of food molecules that we eat? Let's find out by following the paths that lead to a pepperoni pizza. The main ingredients in a pepperoni pizza are bread dough, tomato sauce, cheese, and pepperoni sausage. Start with the dough. That's a short path. The pizza dough is bread made from wheat flour. Wheat flour is made by milling or grinding the seeds of the wheat plant, a kind of grass, so the crust of the pizza comes fairly directly from a plant source. Side note, you can see a picture of the wheat grass right above there. Tomato sauce is made by grinding tomatoes into a pulp and cooking them with seasonings. The tomatoes are the fruit of a tomato plant. The seasonings, such as oregano and basil, are leaves of other plants. So the sauce of the pizza also comes fairly directly from a plant source. The tomato plant is like all other photosynthetic organisms. It uses sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, CO2, to store energy and create the building blocks it needs to grow. When we eat fruit, those building blocks and stored energy of the plant become our food. Cheese is processed from milk, so the nutrients in cheese come from milk. Milk is produced by cows that eat grass. The nutrients in milk come from that grass, so we can trace the energy and nutrients in cheese back to the first organism in the line, a plant. And what about pepperoni? Pepperoni is made from the ground up muscle of cattle and pigs. The animals grew by eating grasses and grain seeds such as corn and millet, which are plant sources. It looks like each ingredient in a pepperoni pizza has its origin in a plant source. Plants capture the energy in sunlight and transfer it into the bonds of food molecules. This process is photosynthesis. Plant cells use sunlight to rearrange water and CO2 molecules into molecules of sugar, food, releasing oxygen, O2. The sugar molecules are building blocks that support plant life and store energy. When an animal eats a plant, those molecules and stored energy transfer to the animal. If another animal eats that animal, the molecules and stored energy transfer yet again. So when you trace any food back to its source, it always starts with plants or plant-like organisms. Did you order anchovies for your pizza? These little fish do not eat like cows and pigs. Anchovies are animals that eat other animals and plants by filtering the food from the ocean water. The animals they eat are tiny, free-swimming critters called zooplankton. The plants they are eating are also tiny, free-floating organisms called phytoplankton. And what do the zooplankton eat? They also eat phytoplankton. These plant-like organisms make their own food by photosynthesis. The anchovies arrive on your pizza because of the food in the microscopic phytoplankton floating in the sea, providing matter and energy. Eating for energy and nutrients. Plants and other photosynthetic organisms use the energy and sunlight to turn water and CO2 into food in the form of sugar. Some of the energy is stored in the bonds of the sugar molecules. Carbohydrates. Organisms that cannot produce food must consume other organisms. At this simple level, it might seem that the whole system is based on sugar. But there is more to the story. Sugars are simple carbohydrates. These sugars can be used as building blocks to create other, larger molecules that the plants need, including starches and cellulose, plant fiber. These larger molecules are called complex carbohydrates. Most plant carbohydrates are so complex that human stomachs cannot digest them. This is one reason we cannot just go out to the lawn and eat grass for lunch. Simple sugars are the fastest source of energy, but they do not last long. When a person eats simple sugars, cells can access the energy immediately. They also burn up the energy quickly. So you might feel a quick burst of energy after consuming candy or a soft drink, but run out of energy soon after. If the body consumes more simple sugar than it can process, it will store the excess as fat. Complex carbohydrates provide a steady amount of energy to the body throughout the day as they are digested. Good sources of complex carbohydrates are vegetables, fruits, and whole grains such as brown rice, oatmeal, and whole wheat bread. Proteins and fats. Carbohydrates are the foundation of energy stored in food, but your body needs other substances too. Proteins and fats are other molecules produced by organisms. Eating these organisms transfers their proteins and fats. Protein is important for repairing and building cells. People can get plenty of protein from regular healthy meals. Good sources of protein are eggs, dairy products, beans, nuts, soy, and meat. Fish, beef, pork, and poultry. Fats provide slow, long-lasting sources of energy. You also need fat in order to digest proteins. Everyone needs a certain amount of fat each day. Some fats, including fish oils and nuts, are healthier than others. Other nutrients. Vitamins and minerals are in the food you eat. These nutrients help your cells get energy from the food you eat and keep you from getting sick. You do not need to get energy from these nutrients. You do not get energy from these nutrients. But if you're not getting enough of them, your cells cannot effectively use energy. This can make you feel weak or tired. Two important nutrients for active people are calcium and iron. Calcium helps build bones and iron carries oxygen to muscles. Many teens do not get enough of these minerals. They are not found in snack foods like soft drinks, potato chips, and candy. Excellent sources of the vitamins and minerals you need include a variety of fresh foods, especially vegetables and fruits. Leafy green vegetables, such as spinach or kale, are a great source of many minerals and vitamins, including iron and calcium. You can also get iron from meat. Calcium can be found in some fruits, such as blueberries. Good sources are dairy foods like milk, yogurt, and cheese. Thinking about nutrients and energy made me hungry. Maybe it's time for a healthy snack. Think questions. How does the energy stored in food enter the ecosystem? What was the last food you ate? Draw a diagram to show a possible pathway of energy from when it entered the ecosystem to when you ate it. Those are bonus questions. Feel free to do them.